Hey, it's AB here.
And your girl Nivaeyah.
If you're new here, welcome.
And if you're not,
welcome back. Hey.
Alright guys, so I think that we have come to the point to where y'all already know the drill.
Yes, you
which
should already
is
know.
Just subscribe. Like if you are not subscribed, like what are you doing with your life? Okay, we trying to help you help yourself and help other people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, it's always about positive reinforcements, trying to get yourself to uplift and try to make things better for yourself. That's the whole process of the show. Like, you don't have to do it right away. You can take your time step by step. But the point is, you gotta get started at some point.
At some point, you gotta get that ball rolling. Alright, so if you want to subscribe, and I mean, like, why wouldn't you want to subscribe to our channel? Like, I mean, we like so cool. Like, look at us. Aren't we just so cool? Like, I mean, that's cool, right?
Anyway.
Well, we're gonna see y'all in a minute.
Alright.
Out this thing.
Happy Talk Tuesdays, everybody. It's your brother from another mother.
And your sister from another mister. Because
you know Papa was a rolling stone. Hey.
Alright, guys. It is Tuesday.
Yes.
Which means that we gotta talk about it.
Yeah.
Y'all not gonna like me after this one.
Well, I don't really know about that one.
But then again, I mean, I'm always saying they not gonna like me after this. But obviously, y'all must like me because you keep coming back. So
hey, I ain't mad at that. Thank y'all for coming back.
We appreciate it.
Thank y'all for subscribing, liking the channel, and watching our videos. We really do appreciate it.
100. All right, guys. So today we are going to be talking about teacher appreciation.
Yeah.
Yes. You heard it. Teacher appreciation.
You guys have to understand what we put teachers through when it comes to handling different personalities, when it's the children and it's the adults, not to mention fellow co-workers as well.
Mm-hmm.
I personally myself have seen these type of things happen through my experiences of being a janitor for, say, like my old high school, for example. Because I see how hard it is for the teachers to stay like overnight and working on multiple different projects for the kids that they put in. They have to talk to the children in certain ways because each one perceives things differently. They're basically a third parent in the relationship of raising that child to become a decent human being.
Yeah, you guys, you parents, and I'm not saying that parents are not important.
Yes.
You guys are important. But this is not for you. This is for the teachers. And if you are a teacher who is a parent,
kudos to you on both parts.
You get
Seriously.
all the love. You get all the love.
Mm-hmm.
But for the teachers, a lot of teachers go unappreciated, and it's really hard because they have to deal with so many different types of kids and teenagers from all different types of backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a lot on them. And you have to remember, these kids are pretty much being raised by their teachers outside of their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And they're spending dang near 3/4 of the year with their teachers, and they're only getting like 2 months where they're not really in school. 2.5 to maybe 3 months where they're not in school. So this is where they're going to get their inspiration from. This is where they're going to get the ideas of who they want to be when they grow up.
Yeah, not to mention like the process just to become a teacher itself. You got to prove yourself. You got to give free hours. You got to basically like go through an internship basically.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to learn how to address each and everything that's thrown in your face, because a lot of things could happen. Because we got to take into consideration, like, some of these teachers are role models where they're counselors to the students. We have to have those parents need to realize that your child doesn't show you things that you think that they do. You'd be like, my child doesn't do that. Well, you don't really know that because they don't do it in front of you. I can say from personal experience, see, I suffer from depression. And I used to hide the heck out of it from my mother and the rest of my family members because I didn't want them to be bothered with that. So I would take that frustration to my school and have my moments of lashing out. Those of you who know me from high school, you know I was very out there, very aggressive, or I'd turn around and just be completely quiet, not really talking to anybody. It was just like a whole mess of emotions that I was going through at that time. But what I came to understand is I had a teacher. It was my gym teacher. Everybody would call him Mr. Manning. You know, he'd be like,
I know Mr. Manning.
Yeah, he'd be like, I got all
Manning.
this. He was the one who saw it first. He was like, I see that you in pain, and like he tried to like, you know, get me to be more cheered up and shit like that. Like he really tried to like make sure that I was okay, and I appreciate that part of it, because it's like I'm not the only one who notices when I have these problems. So I got to be more cautious about what I'm doing, or I have to address those feelings. So teachers there can really be there for the kids when they don't want to admit to something to the parents because they think they're going to get in trouble. Because 9 times out of 10, most of us who are in the older generation tend to approach a child like you're trying to beat them up or something. Not in that sense, but you come aggressively.
It's just there just to really. A lot of teachers don't really understand the type of child or teenager that they are dealing with, and I feel like a lot of teachers try to deal with every student the same way. But you have to remember, not everybody is the same. And not everybody is going through the same things.
Yes.
So however you talk to this person, that may work for them, but this is a different person. So whatever you say to them or whatever you do for them might not work over here. You have to try a different approach.
Yes.
And that means maybe you have to be softer when you talk to them. Maybe you might have to have a little bit more bass in your voice, or you know, so maybe you just need to be really straightforward or whatever the case is, or you know, there's different ways to handle certain situations. And the most important is that, like I said, you do not know what kids are going through when they are at home. And I think a lot of teachers, you know, do take into consideration some of the things that kids go through at home. That's why you have a lot of teachers who go and buy art supplies for the kids. You know, you have teachers that go above and beyond, decorate their rooms, and there was even a teacher who, even with the pandemic going around, I have seen like a post, and there was a teacher that was going outside of some of their kids' houses, and they would like set up a little table and stuff in their truck and try to go and talk to the kids and stuff like that to try to help them with their homework and things of that nature. So you do have teachers that do care. And I can honestly say that I've had at least maybe 4 teachers that really made an impact in my life. I would probably say my 4th grade teacher. My 4th grade teacher was Miss Keels. Amazing woman. Amazing woman. She was actually the first black teacher that I ever had, and she was like so cool, so down to earth. My 6th grade teacher, which was Miss Garnett, really cool, down to earth teacher. Miss Garnett was oh my gosh, she's such a kind soul, and so like just such a kind soul, so cool. You know, like just so much fun, you know, and actually I had ran into her probably like maybe a year or so ago, and I ended up finding out that she became the principal at a different school, and I was like, okay, you go girl, that. You know, so it's always good to, you know, like see things like that
prosper and
definitely
transform from where they were at when you saw them as a kid.
My lifeguard teacher was probably one of the best teachers that I had too, because she made me want to do better with whatever it was that I was going to do in my life. She encouraged me to want to be a better person when I was lifeguarding, because she was just like, oh, you can do this, whatever, you know. And it's nothing like having a teacher that is motivating to you. There's nothing like having a teacher that understands you as a person. Another teacher that I had was you guys, if you guys watched the previous video, I talked about me having lisp, which you can still hear it today. And I was always scared and nervous about it. And my speech therapist used to always tell me, like, don't be down on yourself, don't be this, don't be that. You know, and that kind of helped me a little bit to kind of get up out of that. So teachers are very, very important. And unfortunately, teachers don't get, 1, the recognition that they deserve.
That's correct.
And 2, they don't get paid enough. and it's already bad enough that they have to go 2 to 3 months without pay when they're on summer break and things of that nature, and they have to get second jobs to, make up for lost money and stuff like that. Have to pick up odd jobs, being a waitress or working overtime at the schools and stuff like that. Teachers are just as important as parents, and they should get paid way more than what they're getting paid.
Yeah, I even have a friend who's a teacher. His name is David. So like he's a music teacher.
David.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah, man. And I've literally seen him like post like constantly. He's like posting new music. He's working with other teachers on trying to get ways to get the children to understand different musical, and whether it's musical instruments or whether it's beats, and just trying to find a rhythm to it that you can always notice every time you play it. And he does that even when the school is closed. He'll go out his way. He'll stay overnight. He will redecorate his whole room just to get the kids excited to come in and do some work.
And people don't even understand how exciting that is. I remember one year. I was in junior high school, and it was these 3 teachers. It was Miss Severe, Miss Gross, and Miss Ionati. Oh man,
you got some good memory on them too.
So they're like all like diehard like Cubs fans or whatever like that. So one year we came to their classes, and they all dressed up as like in like these like thug life, like Cub outfits, like, and then they like was like, yeah, we the 3, whatever, it was just like so fun just seeing them just like having a good time being themselves, and
yeah, because it's like one of my favorite teachers in high school as well is Miss Humphrey. I think she's husky now at this point because she got married, she has kids. Because I last saw her the last time I worked. Yeah, she got kids, girl.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
I got to see her every time I got a chance, because like the areas that I was cleaning, it was in the same area that she was at. So I would, if I see her, I'd sneak by and be like, hey, what's up? How's everything going? And then Miss Dowsey, I liked her a lot. She was the life science teacher for me. She was the person that kind of just straightforward with it, really got down to business. She's like, I ain't got time for y'all games. If y'all don't want to be here, the door's right there. You can get the swip on the way out the door. It's just like, because I appreciate her for that. And I also saw her husband, because she got married too. So it was really nice to see that, even when they're going through tough times, these teachers are doing a lot of work. They care about their kids.
They care.
But when you have these meetings with these teachers, you guys gotta understand, like, yeah, there are some teachers that are out to get somebody's kids. We're not talking about them because they're going through a stressful time and they're taking their frustration out at work.
But once again, for those teachers who are, going after their students, you as parents have to understand why. They have to deal with, depending on what grade level they teach, depends on how many kids they have to deal with. So if you have a kid who is in like first through from K through 6th grade, they only got to deal with one class because they're in that one class all day. But if they are from middle school all the way up until high school, they're dealing with hundreds of children every day. And that is stressful. Obviously, yes, you're going to get to know who these kids are, but
it's going to take some time for them to realize who each
they don't even know their names. It takes them probably like at least a week to be able to know everybody's name before they can even do anything.
Right, exactly. And that's the whole point, is it's a lot of work into putting in for the child. What you parents also have to understand is, if your kids are, at some point getting in trouble because they're lashing out, they're doing things that they normally don't do in front of you, and now you come to realization of it, you don't have to come at somebody aggressively. Because I remember there was a friend of mine, she was suffering through depression. She was talking about killing herself at one point. And the teachers actually called, her mom and was like, hey, her grades are doing fine, but I'm just letting you know that your daughter suffered from heavy depression. You might need to talk to her about it. And she really, from what I understood, she snapped out on them, like, why are you bothering me with trivial things? That's part of your job. You deal with it. I got other stuff to do. But she could just been at work and having a bad day, and she just took her frustration out at that moment. But it was like, in those moments, I'm like, but they're trying to tell you something. Like, I get that whatever you got going on is right there, but just say, hey, look, I can't talk right now. We'll talk about this later. We'll whop the bam, and we'll get this settled. Because the thing is, your daughter is feeling some type of way, and you want her to get out of that funk, and you must find ways to make sure that both the teacher and the parent can say, hey, okay, this is what's going on with this person, what we can do to fix the problem.
You know what it is, too, is that, you know, some teachers, like you just said, they do address parents about certain situations about their children. And instead of the parents trying to acknowledge it, they either try to go off on the teachers because they're like, why you all up in my business, this and that. Well, first off, okay, if it's a child, children talk. They're going to tell whoever they think is listening, whatever it is that they trying to tell, whoever they trying to tell, because they feel like they got something they need people to hear. So they're going to tell people. That's number one. And two, don't ever think that your child is not capable of doing anything. How many kids have become, how many kids and adults, or not kids, how many teenagers and or adults have become school shooters? So don't ever think to say that my child is not capable of doing this or doing that, and my child is okay and my child doesn't need any help. That's false. Don't ever think like that.
Just like in the previous video, expect the unexpected. Sometimes you have to take in that perspective of, this is the possibility that my child is going to do this. If that's the case, what can I do to make that change?
And more than likely, these teachers that are around your children, sometimes more than you are, because you as a parent are probably either working all the time or doing whatever you're doing, and these kids are in school for about as long as you are in work. Every day. Just about the same amount of hours that you're working is the same amount of time that they're in school every day. You don't think that these teachers don't know about your kids? You don't think that they don't know what y'all going through? If they see your kids come to school where they hair halfway combed, or they wearing the same clothes for a whole week, or they're smelly, or their shoes are busted, or whatever, you don't think that teacher's not going to see that? Eventually, if a teacher is concerned enough, they're going to come to that kid and they're going to try to see what's going on with this. You got some teachers that care so much about their kids because they I wouldn't say that they wouldn't understand. I'm not gonna say that they understand, but they
know where it's coming from when they've been around.
Exactly.
It's like when you meet somebody and you don't know who they are in the beginning, but then you start to see their little habits, and then when you see the full front, you're like, wow, okay, now I get it.
And some of them, they see why the teenagers are the way that they are, because they see that they don't have a good at-home life. They see why some of the children act the way that they do, because they don't have a good at-home life. Why some of the kids have attitudes. Why some of them act up. Why some of them probably come to school late. Why some of them bully other kids. And the teachers that step in to try to help them, we appreciate them, because at the end of the day, you never know who your child is going to be around and what teacher is going to try to be there to help them. You got so many teachers that are good teachers, and all they want is the most respect, and they want to be there for those kids and or teenagers.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, the teachers understand that who they have in their class are the future.
They're the next generation that will lead us into a new beginning, and that's the thing that we have to understand. When the teachers don't have the supplies that they need, and they got old books that are not working out anymore, when they don't have enough time, when they have like 30-some students and they gotta try to learn each individual one, that's a lot of emotional attention that you have to give, and that can be stressful in itself. Then you have the times where they have to call in a security guard, a parapro, to get the student out because they're lashing out at that moment. It's not a dangerous thing depending on which school they go to, but it's like, if they don't have the supplies that they need to actually take care of their students, then the children themselves are going to be unhealthy adults that are just going to do stupid stuff until either one of these days you either see them on the news, whether they're behind bars, in the ground, the one that caused the problem in the first place, or even the freaking victim of it. It's hard to see something like that. Like
it was even a teacher. There was a kid that was about to do a school shooting, And the teacher actually found out about it and approached the student that was the gunman. Was able to convince the kid to give him the gun and hug the child. You never know what type of impact these teachers are putting on your children. Appreciate those teachers.
Yes.
And if your teacher and if the teacher of your child tells you that there is a problem that is going on with your child, listen. Don't talk back to that teacher, because one, you don't know what type of day the teacher has had, and two, chances are they're not just saying it just to say that your kid is doing something.
Right.
If they're calling you to tell you that your kid is doing a great job, say thank you. If they're calling you to tell you that your kid is not doing such a good job, then you try to
ask the question what to do.
Try to figure out a way to make it better.
Exactly.
Don't lash out on the teacher. Don't tell them that it's the teacher's fault. And don't you sit there and try to tell your child to be negative towards their teacher either. Because now you're teaching your child to disrespect other adults.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's another thing that we have to touch upon. It's like the hypocrisy behind it. You tell them to, F off the teacher, tell other people that you're going to hit them and do all types of stuff. But when it comes to you want the utmost respect. Well, I'm just going to personally say it. To me, I don't see the difference, because if I'm able to disrespect other adults, then I'm going to, at some eventual point, I'm going to end up disrespecting the same person that's been teaching me the same things. You cannot be upset at your child for what you taught them. If you don't like what they're learning, then you need to change the game. You need to change the way you act. You need to change the way you approach things. You have to be more, when I say assertive, like it's like, okay, hold on. So you're doing, all this stuff is happening, I need to calm myself down, I need to think about what I'm gonna do, and then at that point it's like, okay, listen, this is why I acted this way, this is why I do these things, but you can't do that, and if I have to change who I am, it's not gonna happen right away, but we'll get through this together.
Exactly, that's the most important, is just trying to be a teammate with your child's teacher. The worst thing you can do is be the enemy of the teacher.
Being an enemy of someone that knows a lot more than what you need, or has the most information.
At the end of the day, you think that you may know your child, but I'm pretty sure some of these teachers know your children better than you do. And because sometimes some of these teachers spend way more time with your children than you do, and some of these teachers care so much for these children that they go above and beyond, and for that we do thank you.
Appreciate you for all the good things that you're doing. Keep up the good work. Keep your head held high. You're not, to us, we can understand from the student to a teacher who changed our lives and made us think differently. She had inspiration from teachers that were higher class black women. I got ones that really saw my emotional unstableness and was there for me when I was going through it. Like, it makes a world's difference when when somebody knows your child well enough to care about them. Take this time to really show what you really want in this world. Appreciate the teachers that you have that are there for your kids. And every now and again, just check up on your child. Like, say, hey, is everything good?
Or call the teacher yourself and try to see what's going on.
Yeah, that too. Call. It's good. Well, we only have to die.
I mean, right now, you guys probably should have, hopefully, better relationships with your children's teachers, because majority of kids now are being homeschooled through video. So hopefully you guys have a better relationship with teachers now. And hopefully you guys can talk to these teachers to better help your child get further.
Yes.
And if you are a teacher watching this, thank you.
We appreciate you.
We do appreciate you. And you stay motivated yourself. Don't let whatever you got going on in your life interrupt you or stop you from doing what you're trying to do. Even if you're going through a rough patch, it won't stay that way forever.
Right. And make sure that those of you that are going back to the schools and having to wear masks and during this whole pandemic, stay as safe as you possibly can. Make sure that the kids are getting enough information as much as you can give them. And if you're going through something, y'all need to stand together. Y'all need to make sure that you march for what you want, express how you feel, and then we have to make the changes to do good.
Indeed. And on that note, we're going to have a part 2 to this video.
Yes.
And we out.
Peace. So it's AB here.
It's your girl Nivaeyah. All right, y'all. So I'm pretty sure
Yeah, see how we like.
No, it wasn't that. It was the fact that I was looking at the camera and I only saw your mouth, and I was about to tell you to step back.
What is that? Okay, let's try again.
Do it again.
Okay. You see how we need that background like that? Step up that way.
Stay right there. I mean, because the lighting is also going to be different when we record. That's the thing, because when you just look at it on the camera, it will be different. But just doing it head on, like, not the same thing.
So you can't see me.
You said you can't see you? It's because you're wearing all that damn black.
It's your brother from another mother.
And your sister from another mister, because you know
Papa was a rolling stone. Hey, happy Talk Tuesdays, everybody.
No, you were supposed to say that first. You're supposed to say Happy Talk Tuesday and then say.
Oh, I know, but at that point, I just thought you could just cut it and just add that.
God damn.
Because I did that. It doesn't matter.
Do it again.
Okay.
Start off Happy Talk Tuesday.
I will. Look, I am disappearing into the chair.
You definitely are with all that black on. Have you guys seen AB? I can't find him.
I'm as black as they can get. Alright, I'm ready whenever you are.